All right, let's just get right into it. We need to talk about what is, for sure, the single hardest financial milestone you will ever face, getting to your first $100,000. It is so tough, so brutal, that most people just give up. But what if I told you that once you break through that wall, the entire game of building wealth changes, like forever?
Look, let's just start with the most important thing you're going to see. This timeline right here, that first 100 grands, it takes almost 8 years of grinding. But look what happens next. The second one, just 5 years. The third, 3.5. The time it takes literally collapses on itself. This, my friends, is the wealth snowball in action.
So that leads to the big question, right? Why? Why is the beginning such an absolute slog, and how on earth does it suddenly get so much faster? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down.
Honestly, getting started feels like you're trying to push a stalled car up a really muddy hill in the pouring rain. It's just all effort, and you barely feel like you're moving. And trust me, the math behind it is just as brutal.
See, in those early days, there's no magic. There's no passive income, no money working for you while you sleep. There is only you. You working your butt off, trading your time for money, and then fighting every single impulse to not spend it. It's all on your shoulders.
And this chart, man, this chart says it all. To get to that first $100,000, assuming you're saving 10 grand a year, you have to contribute $78,000 of your own hard-earned money. The market? It only chips in about $22,000. You are doing almost 80% of the work yourself. It's a grind for a reason.
And that is exactly why the legendary Charlie Munger put it so bluntly. He knew that this first milestone isn't just some number. It's a mathematical and honestly a psychological wall that you have to punch through with just pure willpower.
And this is where it gets really dangerous. It creates this psychological trap. You say no to vacations, you keep driving that old car, you pack your lunch every day, and after a full year of that discipline, your investment account is up, what, a few $100? It feels like an insult. And that is the exact moment that makes most people say, forget it, this isn't worth it, and they quit.
So how do you not quit? How do you actually survive this? Let's get into the game plan, the playbook for getting through this grind, especially for the world we're living in right now. This is your blueprint.
Okay, the name of the game in this phase is what I call brute force savings. You have to accept a hard truth. You cannot invest your way to your first $100,000. You have to save your way there. Your savings rate, how much you don't spend, is the only thing you have real control over. The market is just a place to park that cash so it doesn't get eaten alive.
But don't let that fool you into thinking investing is pointless right now. Look at this. If you just took that same $10,000 a year and stuffed it in a shoebox, it would take you a full 10 years to hit your goal. Investing, even with all its ups and downs, shaves more than 2 years off that timeline. And those 2 years, they are the foundation for everything that comes later.
So the modern playbook has a couple of key things to remember. First, with interest rates where they are, your emergency fund absolutely has to be in a high-yield savings account. Make every dollar work. And yeah, let's be real. Inflation means that $100,000 target might feel more like $130,000 now. But that's exactly why you have to invest. It's your only real defense. Don't let inflation become an excuse to just do nothing.
To get through what I call the boring middle, that long, slow climb from like 10 grand to 70 grand, you need some tricks. First, automate everything. Make the money disappear from your checking account the day you get paid. Create scarcity. Second, turn it into a game. Track your savings rate like it's a high score you're trying to beat. And third, celebrate the small wins. 25K, 50K, those are huge. Treat them like base camps on the way up Mount Everest.
Okay, because now we get to the good part. Once you finally get that car to the top of the hill, something amazing happens. Gravity. It stops being your enemy, and it starts working for you. The math completely flips in your favor.
So just think about this. For almost 8 years, you've been working like crazy to save $10,000 a year. That's your sweat, your sacrifice.
But now, look at this. The second you have $100,000 invested, a pretty normal year in the market, say 10% growth, generates that exact same amount of money for you, with zero extra effort. Your money is now an employee that works for you 24/7.
This is it. This is the moment the entire game changes. You have officially hired your money to work right alongside you. You are no longer the only one funding your future. You've got a partner now.
And this table right here just shows you how fast that partnership takes off. Getting to 200K is faster because you're starting with a pile of money that's already making thousands on its own. Getting to 300K, the base is even bigger, generating even more. See? The time just keeps shrinking. It's not magic, it's just math. But let's zoom out for a second. This whole journey to the first 100,000, it's not just about the numbers and the market returns. It's a test, and the prize you get for passing it is way more valuable than just the money.
It's a test of your character. By getting to this number, you prove to yourself beyond a doubt that you can delay gratification. You prove that you can control your impulses, not for a day or a week, but for years, to build something better for your future. That skill is priceless. And when you pass this test, you earn a new identity. You're not just a person who earns a paycheck and pays bills anymore. You become a capital allocator. You start thinking strategically about where to put your resources, your money, your time, to build the exact future you want.
So please remember this. The hard part, the grind, the sacrifice, that feeling of pushing the car uphill, it's temporary. It really is. But the freedom you buy yourself by going through it, that's permanent.
You've seen the path, and the math doesn't lie. So I'm just going to leave you with one question. Are you ready to embrace the suck to earn the freedom?